you met what you set out to do, goal, you exceeded. So say for any given year, the Kansas City field office says we need to get 3 wiretaps or FISA or title 3. So of course that pressure is going to then trickle down onto the people doing the actual work because the boss wants to get that gold check mark so you get that bonus. And it's, especially in law enforcement, in the alleged land of the free, you have a system in place where you're giving a monetary bonus for law enforcement work. That is not how the scales of justice are supposed to tip. Because in law enforcement, you seek the facts. You find as many facts as you can because that is going to get you as close to the truth as possible. With any given case, you may not ever know the entire full truth, but you can get close enough. And well, that's why we have a court system. And it's different standards of, you have reasonable suspicion and probable cause and beyond a reasonable doubt and all these things, because you may never get 100% of the truth. But when you have the highest ranking member in any field office really in the forefront of their mind thinking, man, I know I have a really nice SES salary, but I can get that bonus bumped up even more if we can get a lot of these sophisticated techniques or the numbers of arrests or whatever. And it's like, that's not how law enforcement is supposed to work.
That's how sales works. Like a sales team is like,
who determines that comp plan? Who created that comp plan 10 years ago?
The federal government. Oh, the IPM structure, I'm not sure, but there's a federal statute across all federal government for all SES employees.
Who created that incentive?
It's FBI. It's all across FBI. It's all across the board.
All across every federal government institution.
It had to be the government.
It was an outside consulting. I don't know if it was McKinsey or somebody like that they brought in. I believe it was actually multiple consulting companies kind of came up on this system. And it's not even just opening up a certain cases. And then you start making sales games. And I've had situations where I was told, hey, you're really good at the university this year. We don't want you to see too much. You're going to have to get higher numbers next year. And you delay it by a year for a couple months.
I can see that because in sales, it's called sales. So what that means is, say you go on, how many days do you wait? 5 days to report on the first of the month when you start on school. And you want to get your bonus for the December. But that's in sales. If there's any work that should be said, if there's any work,
And I think we need to maybe the statistical analysis of
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here and watch the entire podcast.
the right things to campaign on today are unfortunately not winnable. Okay, to get out there and give a message of, here's what we need to learn. Nah, the other guys give me free stuff, you're not. Why am I going to vote for you? I'm not going to vote for you. Like this whole debt ceiling negotiation that happened right, we're going to the story next, is they're negotiating about how much money they can spend. Like just think about it, how much money they can spend. And one side is saying, let's spend less, the other side is saying, no, we got to spend more, right? Okay. The other part also in this thing here is the fact that as an individual, the less they want the pet scene to be raised. The more independent earners there is, the less they rely on somebody to take care of them financially. Think about who is voting for more entitlement programs. Actually think about it. Do you need entitlement programs? Do you need entitlement programs? Do I need entitlement programs? Do we need entitlement programs? Who with a job needs entitlement programs? Actually think about that question. Who was taking care of their family, their wives, their kids, their husbands, their responsibilities? Who wants entitlement programs? The only people that want entitlement programs is what? The people that are not wanting to do the legwork, not wanting to go out there and do, not wanting to get a skill set. So as long as they increase, everybody's trying to increase their subscribership. The left, they need to increase the amount of people that need entitlement programs. The more people need entitlement programs, the more relevant the Democratic Party will be. The more people increase that don't need entitlement programs, people are gonna one day wake up and say, I'm sorry, we need to step aside, guys. You don't need to solve my problem. I got it. You don't need to take care of my financial responsibility. That's on Chuck. Well, that's the case. That's the case. A lot of it is spending funds. Today, when we're in the economy, it's like, well, look how we're shopping, look how we're shopping, look how we're shopping. It's so confusing where they want people to lie. They've done such a good job of it. It's very hard. Look how many people are doing things people could believe. This is what happens a lot of toxic charity. You know when we talk about toxic charity? The toxic charity was five things, right? Five things for toxic charity. You get one, you look at the change. You get 12, you get 8 times, fluctuating quite a bit or whatever, and there's ways around them. You can get an adjustable rate mortgage, or you can buy points at closing, which is going to be costly. Regardless, it definitely has both sides of the middle class, where only pretty much investors are the only ones that can buy a home now. So if you're an investor, it's a great time to get in because you don't have to compete with as many people. But yeah, interest rates are more than double.
So you see BlackRock buying up everything. Right?
Exactly, they're buying up all the single family homes.
Can you pull up that entitlement thing one more time?
He has it right up.
Okay, got it. It's so funny because that's politically that you're talking about. But this is applicable in any phase of life. So we all know that I used to be in the nightlife world and I still do that. It's so funny because there's this I'll give one quick anecdote. A buddy of mine is a big nightlife promoter, one of the biggest in Miami. He's going back and forth on social media arguing with a woman, Myra, shocker,
probably.
And so I was there the night that it happened, and basically the story goes like this. She had to wait in line to get into a club, one of the biggest clubs in Miami, for a half hour, okay? The club was packed, sold out, and he lets her in free every single time. Her and her girls, they drink free. You know, we talk about number one, appreciation. Hey, thanks for letting me in. All my friends really appreciate you. Thank you. Anticipation. Hey, we're coming. We'll see you soon. Got you. All good. No worries. Expectation, hey, I'm here, I'm in line, where are you? Hey, I'm coming to get you, all right, cool. Entitlement, hey, where are my free drinks? Dependency, I'm in line, where are you? They're posting each other's stories, online. And he's like, at the end of the day, sorry if I curse, listen, bitch, I don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
I've been letting you and your friends come in for free, drink for free, for years. And now you want to come in and act all entitled to the club. Sorry, baby girl, I need to wait. And you, this and that. He's like, all right, well, best of luck out there. But that is a real life story of entitlement
Good for him.
mentality.
Well, I say
Exactly.
good for him for standing up
Yes.
and saying no. Go figure it out for yourself. Listen. Think about the most annoying people in your life, okay? Or when we've been annoying, because we've also been annoying at things. Whether we were 8 years old, 9 years old, 13 years old, we've all been part of an annoying camp, or we've been part of a camp where people have annoyed you. Think about who is the most annoying people in your life that drain the best energy out of you. Go to those 2 or 3 people. You know exactly who those people are, right?
The spoiled ones.
Okay, so let's just say spoiled ones. Number 1 is what? Spoiled. Who else are the most annoying people that suck the best energy
They're
out
always
of you?
complaining, they're never happy,
Okay, so we got-
life owes them everything.
So I got spoiled, complainers,
Victims.
victims, who else?
Ungrateful.
Ungrateful, who else?
Leeches.
Leeches. What else?
Leeches.
What would you say, Myron?
Oh man, I don't want to sound an asshole. This is Myron Gaines' opinion only, not PBD podcast. But this is a lot of modern day women behave this way. And when you were mentioning the club situation, in my head I was thinking about right. This is why I say things down the right controversial topic. I've always said, most girls don't deserve chivalry anymore, and women kill chivalry. And the reason why is because it used to be women appreciated nice guys. But nowadays, if you're a nice guy and you're looked at as weak, and you're going to punish you for it. So chivalry nowadays is supposed to be earned for women, but guys make the mistake and come in as a nice guy thinking, oh yeah, let me go this route, and she's gonna like me. It doesn't work that way because women are so they're appreciate nice general so yeah, it's not expected nowadays. So basically, all this other stuff is basically I'm just curious to have a guy that never got on the life. She thinks I'm the guy that's at least 3 or 4 times myself, even though I'm only a lot of myself. Going back personally, it's nice to appreciate philosophies are producing these types of people, okay? These types of people. What's the philosophy on the other side? Leave me alone, let me do my thing, let me live my life, whether it's a libertarian, whether it's an independent, anything from center to the right, it's just leave me alone. Let me live the life that I want to live. So the judgment comes on what?
Bad policies produce these types of people. These types of people ruin a nation. The ability to want to change these types of people takes a decade, Vinny. In many instances, they don't even know. A lot of them cannot be saved. They won't be saved. Well, we're having a conversation yesterday about words, right? The power of making words. And it's like, hey, be careful saying that because that statement doesn't have a lot of weight behind it, right? When certain men talk, they have weight behind their words. When certain people talk, they don't have weight behind their words. These guys don't have weight behind their words. Their words is what? It's not fair. That's a weak statement. It's not fair. It's not this. It's not that. It's not. Those are all weak phrases. No leader says it's not fair. No independent person says it's not fair. If we simply gauge the weight of words being used by the left and the right, the level of weakness of the weak words being used, they would be at the top, and this side's going to be more on this side. You know, at the bottom, they would lose an amount of weak words to be used. So, philosophically, if we're talking about this whole conversation around what can we do to really change this, like you're asking a question, it's a two-different problem. The population acting like victims and everything is the other person's fault, that population keeps increasing.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
Oh, these people overpaid for their international money transfers. Switch to OFX and get 24/7 access to currency specialists. You'll get bank beating rates and round-the-clock phone access to our OFX experts, helping make transfers at the right time at the right rate, which could save you thousands. Or you can simply use OFX online. It could be the difference between a profit or a loss.
Real people, it's about.
Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I am Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Thursday. Man, do we have an awesome show planned for you today. Guess who's in studio? Bryson Gray and Shanika Michelle. Round of applause for both of them. Donald Squires is going to join us from Washington, D.C. at the top of the show. Steve Kim and Jordan Bowles will be here on the back end of the show. We're going to start today with an unscripted fire starter, unscripted monologue, where I want to try to be and set up a conversation about fire. Today is the first day of fire, which we've been talking about all week, and now here. I came in to today very optimistic. Yesterday, you heard the show. I had some optimism about where things were headed this direction. I thought the Blazers involved 1969 at some place called the Stonewall Inn. It was a bar, a gay bar, again in Lower Manhattan, owned by the mafia. They have a slew of riots in this place over a few days. And so coming out of that, the gay and lesbian community started placing a priority on a Pride Month, a celebration of them. And then over the next 30 years, it kept growing and growing and growing until in 1999, Bill Clinton declared the month of June Pride Month for gays and lesbians. He made this declaration, kind of nationalized and gave it the official White House stamp of approval. June, in remembrance of Stonewall Inn, is now Pride Month for gays and lesbians. And then a dozen years later, in 2011, Barack Obama declared that it's not just for gays and lesbians, it's for bisexuals, transgenders, queers. All the alphabets got added to Pride Month because of Barack Obama in 2012. And so it's easy for people to conclude that, hey, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama kick-started, gave the whole Pride movement power and a jump start, and they were very influential, and they were. But I don't think anything has been as powerful and as significant for the LGBTQ movement than the invention, the advent of Twitter in 2006. Twitter put the LGBT alphabet mafia on steroids. Twitter became the place that penalized any public figure that stuck to or promoted biblical values in a public way. You can have your faith, you can have your biblical values, as long as you did not state them on a public platform. If a public figure, a pundit, had the audacity to go on a platform and say something biblically sound as it related to sexuality or gender, they paid a price. The best example of this is in 2013. I think we have the clip of Chris Broussard in 2013. This is April 29th. I think this is one of Holland's brothers, Jason or Darren, I can't remember which one's gay. One of these NBA players, they're twin brothers, one of them is gay. And in April of 2013, this comes out, and Chris Broussard was on Outside the Lines and had this exchange.
He mentioned in his article, Jason, that he is a Christian as well. So what's your take on that?
Personally, I don't believe that you can live an openly homosexual lifestyle or an openly premarital sex between heterosexuals. If you're openly living that type of lifestyle, then the Bible says you know them by their fruits. It says that that's a sin. And if you're openly living in unrepentant sin, whatever it may be, not just homosexuality, and adultery, fornication, sex between heterosexuals, whatever it may be, I believe that's brought to an open requirement to God and to Jesus Christ. So I would not characterize the person as a Christian, but I would believe the Bible would characterize him.
That's the response.
Said all the things and stuff on this. That's how they react. And basically that was the end of his ESPN career. Chris was a high profile ESPN employee, was on their NBA pregame show and all this stuff. And after the Twitter glitch when I came after him and painted him as one of the worst humans on the planet, his career at ESPN took a slow descent. And by 2016, he was out of there because all they would offer him at that point was a sideline reporting job, and it was just done. Chris Broussard's reputation and career marred by Twitter. That is what Twitter has been doing for the past decade. If someone comes out and says anything that offends or isn't in agreement with the LGBTQ crowd, they're portrayed as homophobic and unworthy of employment. It's not fair, and I thought that Elon Musk was changing that up. I thought that Twitter was going to be a bit more tolerant of people with a biblical worldview as it relates to sex and gender. But as I talked about yesterday, this whole World Economic Forum, WEF, and their whole CEI, Corporate Equality Index mandate that they're forcing on all corporations. And CEI is about fairness and the treatment and policies within companies as it relates to the alphabet mafia. They're a special group. And the WEF and their Corporate Equality Index are forcing these values on all corporations. And so when Elon Musk named this woman Linda Yaccarino, or I can't pronounce her last name, but Linda whoever, she's from the WEF. And that was a red flag that people immediately hopped on it. Elon's a critic of the WEF, but he hired someone straight from there to take over Twitter, and now this thing between the Daily Wire and Twitter and the not allowing what is a woman to be shown. And Jeremy Boring writes a really compelling thread on social media about his exchange. It seemed very fair and it seemed very transparent about how they had agreed, and then it got ixnayed, and now it's over, and he doesn't know how Elon Musk is going to react. But all of this makes me skeptical and quite a bit where I was like, hey man, we're getting some victories here. Look at Bud Light, look at Target, look at North Face. If the alphabet mafia controls Twitter, they cannot be stopped, because that controls public perception, and that's what normalized. And again, if you go back and see how quickly on a dime opinions changed about same-sex marriage, it's because Twitter normalized it and penalized anybody that disagree with same-sex marriage, and so everyone hopped on board. If they still control Twitter, they will win. I woke up this morning, read all this stuff, watched this, thought about it, and I'm back now to being more careful and just like take control of the For the same reason I object to rude behavior, opposite of threats of violence, all pronoun and